Yammer is an enterprise social network and is part of Microsoft's Office 365 suite. Everyone with an Office 365 license has the option to create a Yammer account, and everyone with access to Yammer can create public or private groups and realize online communities. Most of the groups created in Yammer are private, and there are many use cases for that. But the public groups have more potential as they allow others to join the conversations. Creating a public group for your team means that the entire organization can reach your team via Yammer. The algorithm for the feeds and the search feature surface the conversations on the homepage, and you can advertise your group to existing communities to attract some members. Yammer is especially useful for large communities. These large groups can be quite active without any moderation, but community management can definitely help to get more conversations going. We're covering community management in Yammer at the end of this video. The first step is to get to know Yammer and all its features. We're going to cover the features of Yammer when you visit it with a browser and when you connect to it using the official Yammer app. The next video covers the settings for the web and mobile experience. We have chosen the Android app for the video tutorials. Feel free to comment on the videos if you have any questions. The window on the left shows you Yammer in the browser, and the window on the right shows the Yammer app. The browser gives you all the features, while the Yammer app allows you to stay connected and participate in conversations when you're on the go. The Yammer app is an important part of the experience, which is why we advise installing it from the start. Let's start with the browser experience. The menu you see at the top is the Office 365 menu, and the button in the top left corner is the app launcher. Clicking on it gives you an overview of all the Office 365 services you have access to, including Yammer. You can also visit Yammer by going to yammer.com and signing in. Everything you see below the Office 365 menu is part of Yammer. The main navigation buttons can be found on the left side of the window. There are 3 buttons in the top. These are the same main buttons in the Yammer app at the bottom. The first button navigates you to the home page, which is this page. The default view in the Yammer app is the My Groups view. The second button navigates you to your inbox. The inbox is one of the most important features of Yammer. Conversations end up here when someone tags you or sends you a private message. Announcements posted in groups where you are a member will also reach your inbox. It's important to monitor the inbox and follow up on conversations. Conversations that you see in your Yammer inbox are conversations you follow. You can stop following them by clicking on the conversation, clicking on this button, and clicking here. You have 2 views in your inbox, the unread and all view. When you open a conversation in the unread view, it will automatically go to the all view. You can push a conversation to the unread view by clicking on this button. This is the way you manage the conversations in your inbox. This button allows you to create a new private message. You also have a search feature to find content in the inbox. The link you see here allows you to mark all conversations as read with one click. You can open the group by opening the conversation and clicking on the group name. You'll see a button there to join or leave the group. You can reach the inbox on the Yammer app by tapping the inbox button shown at the bottom. The default view is the unread view. You can change the view by tapping the drop-down menu in the top. This allows you to see all the conversations in your inbox. You can create a new private message by tapping this button. You can stop following a conversation by opening it, tapping this button and selecting Stop Following. You can click on this button to open the group, and you'll see a button there to join or leave the group. You can reach the notifications on Yammer by clicking on this button. You get notifications when people like one of your posts or comments, when someone publishes a note you are following, when someone starts to follow you, or when someone links different Yammer groups together. The link at the bottom shows you an overview of all the notifications. You can reach the notifications in the Yammer app by tapping the notifications button. Just as with the desktop application, tapping the notification navigates you to the full conversation. The Yammer app also supports push notifications, which you can see in your notification bar. There are 5 more buttons that have been hidden behind this button. The Invite button allows you to invite colleagues to Yammer. We are going to invite everyone with an Office 365 license to Yammer soon, so you don't have to use this feature. This button gives you an overview of the groups. The default overview shows recommended groups. This is based on the groups you have joined and the people you have decided to follow. The second overview is an overview of all the groups you are allowed to see. Private groups which haven't been listed are not visible here unless you are a member. You can join groups by clicking on this button. Private groups which have been listed still require an admin to approve your request to join the group. You can only see an overview of your own groups on the Yammer app, but you can search for other groups. We'll cover search later in this video. The People button navigates you to the People directory. This is a list with everyone in the network. You can see when they joined, how many followers they have, and start following them with one click. The second overview shows you people you are currently following. To reach the People section of the Yammer app, simply tap this button and select people in this list. You can search for people in the network, and you can follow them here as well. The Files button shows you an overview of files in the network. The default view shows recently accessed files. It's filtered on documents, but you can also filter on notes, images, videos, and official files. Admins of groups can mark files as official. You can filter on files you are following, files you have updated, or files within the groups you have joined. The 2 buttons in the top right corner allow you to upload more files or create a note. You don't have file overviews on the Yammer app. You can access files by searching for them or by opening them when they are attached to a conversation. The last button navigates you to the app directory. Currently, only the official Yammer apps can be installed. You do have 3 apps installed by default. You need to scroll down to reach them. The first app gives you an overview of topics that have been used. The second app gives you some analytics. The analytics feature is a bit buggy and Microsoft is working on replacing it, so keep that in mind. The third app is the org chart. Everyone can update the org chart by adding their manager and direct reports. Now let's get back to the home page. The list here on the left is a list of groups you have joined or groups people have added you as a member. The list is sorted by relevance. Groups you visit more often will show up on top of this list. The number next to the group name shows you how many messages you have missed since your last visit. Visiting a group and looking at these messages will reset that number. This is also synchronized with the Yammer app. External messaging and external groups have been disabled at the network level, so you can't create new external groups. The 2 buttons in the bottom left corner allow you to create a new group or visit the group overview page. The group overview page is the same one we just covered. This button gives you access to your profile, settings, and external networks you have joined. You can't create external networks, but you can join external networks of other companies. The default view on the mobile application shows the same set of groups. You can visit the groups by tapping them. You can also join groups. Just use the search feature to find a group and then tap on Join. This box is an advertisement for the Yammer Desktop Notifications application for Windows and the Yammer app. The first one is a desktop application for Windows. It gives you toasts when there is an update on Yammer. This button allows you to invite your colleagues to Yammer. As mentioned before, you don't really have to use this feature. You can invite colleagues to Yammer in the Yammer app by tapping this button and then tapping Add Coworkers. This will send them an email from Yammer. The recent activity shows you activity of people you follow and groups you are a member of. This feature is not available on the Yammer app. The suggested people and groups make it easier for you to join groups and follow people. The more you use Yammer, the more information the Yammer algorithm has to come up with suggestions. You don't get suggestions for groups in the Yammer app, but conversations from groups you haven't joined can surface in your feed. You need to first open the conversation, tap this button, and select this option to visit the group. You will see a button there to join the group. In the bottom right corner, you can see the Yammer chat. This is currently a different chat than Skype for Business. Using this feature allows you to send private messages to others. These private conversations end up in the inbox of all the participants. All the participants in a private conversation can move the conversation to a group. This can be a public or a private group. You can do this by clicking on this button. A private conversation was set up as private for a reason, so please always check by asking everyone first. You can send a chat message by going to the People section of the Yammer app, or by creating a new message. Tap the button in the bottom center, add people, and send your message. It will end up in their inbox, and you will get the updates there as well. You can't move private conversations to groups using the Yammer app. The field on top can be used to create a new post. The default group is the All Company group, but you can change that by clicking on the X and searching for another group. The feed you see below it is the default feed. You can change the view by clicking on these three buttons. To share an update on the Yammer app, simply tap this button and start writing. The field on top has to be used. Creating a post in a group on the Yammer app is simple. You can tap the Create button and add the group to the field at the top. You can also visit the group and tap the icon in the bottom right corner. Your post will now be created within this group. The default feed is the Discovery feed. It helps you to discover new people to follow and groups to join. The second button shows you everything you have access to without doing anything smart. The last button shows a feed of what you are following. These can be people, groups, but also files and topics. You can save your selection for the next time you log in by clicking here and clicking on Remember My Feed Selection. Our advice is to select the following feed if you find Yammer overwhelming. Change it to Discovery when you are more used to it, and select All if you have discovered most of the groups and conversations and would like to see some random conversations in the feed. You can reach the feed on the Yammer app by tapping on the Feed button shown at the bottom of the screen. You don't have the option to change this feed. What you see here is a combination of the following feed and the Discovery feed. Yammer supports different types of posts. Admins of Yammer groups have an additional type of post, which is the announcement. We'll cover that later in this video. Please note that you don't have your own wall or timeline in Yammer. Each post has to be shared within a private or public group. You have regular updates. These are the most common posts on Yammer, and they're also used as the default option. When you simply start typing and click on the Post button, the default group you post to is the All Company group. This is the only group nobody can leave and the only group you can use to reach everyone connected to this Yammer network. You can attach files to any type of post on Yammer. Just click on this button to see the different options. You have the option to upload a file from your computer, select a file which has been uploaded to Yammer, or a file saved on OneDrive for Business. You can mention or tag people in conversations. Doing this will send a message to the Yammer inbox, and it will by default trigger an email. But this is a notification setting they can change. Tagging people in conversations really helps to push conversations forward. You can also use the Add People to Notify field for this. Tagging is preferred as it provides some context on why you are adding them to the conversation. This is the only type of post that you can create when using the Yammer app. The following types of posts are visible on the Yammer app, and you can always like them or comment on them. Tagging can be done in the message by using the @ sign. Yammer gives you suggestions for colleagues to tag and notify. This is the same as the Add People to Notify feature shown in the browser version. You can also add people by tapping here and searching for them. You do have the option to attach a picture or a video by using the built-in camera of your device. You can use these two buttons for that. The third button allows you to attach a file to your post. You can attach files from pretty much any application installed on your device, including OneDrive for Business. You don't have the option to attach a file which has been uploaded to Yammer previously. Yammer has a poll feature. You can create a poll by simply clicking on the poll button. You can ask your question here and add a list of possible answers below. Additional fields will be made available as you start typing. The report will look like this. It won't show you who gave which answer, but you do get notifications every time someone votes. This notification is only sent to the person that created the poll. You can't tag people in the question, but you can add files and use this field to notify specific people. The poll can be reached via the built-in browser of the device. It's not a great experience as it's officially not supported on the Yammer app. The praise feature allows you to praise others for something they have done for you or for something they have achieved. Simply click on the praise button to see the options. This is where you can add people you want to praise, and this is where you can add the message. You can change the icon by clicking on these buttons. Posting an announcement is basically the same as a post in which you tag all the members of the group, as announcements also end up in the inbox of all the members. Only admins of groups can create announcements. Announcements offer some formatting options. An announcement has a subject and message, and a small speaker icon is shown next to the post. You can't create announcements by using the Yammer app. The announcements do reach you in your Yammer inbox, and they are shown in the feed of the group. Sharing is an important feature of Yammer. You can share anything you see in Yammer as a private message or to another group. Please note that sharing a conversation from a private group gives people who aren't members of that private group a preview of the comment you have shared. When you share an entire conversation, the original post is shown in a preview. Private groups have been set up as private groups for a reason. This is why it's better not to share anything from a private group to people who aren't members of the group. When people comment on your shared conversation, they don't comment on the conversation you have shared, but the post you have created by sharing it. It's important to note that the people from the shared conversation aren't getting notifications when this happens. In order to share a conversation in the Yammer app, first go to the conversation. You need to tap this button and then tap Share. You now have to select a group and/or people. Selecting only people will result in a private conversation. You can find files previously uploaded to Yammer by using search. Files that have been shared on Yammer can be seen in the browser. This works best for Microsoft Office files. Yammer allows people to have a conversation about the document. Each file on Yammer has its own dedicated file page. You can reach this page by clicking on the Go to File link. This is where you can start following the file. New conversations linked to the file will end up in your following feed. This is why it's better to share links to an existing file on Yammer compared to uploading the same file multiple times. All the conversations linked to the file are shown below the preview of the file. You can reach files on the Yammer app via conversations which have been linked to them, and you can find them using the search feature. Notes is an easy way to collaborate on text with colleagues. You can create a note by clicking on Notes and then clicking on Create New Note. You can send a notification to others by adding them as collaborators here. Notes can be edited by multiple people at the same time. You can link to notes in your Yammer group, and you can attach them to conversations. Creating a conversation linked to a note is simple. Just copy the direct link to the note and paste it in a new conversation. Your conversation is now linked to the note and will also be showing on the note page. The only way to reach notes on the Yammer app is by using search or by clicking on a preview in a linked conversation. You can only create notes by using Yammer in the browser. Yammer supports topics. This is similar to hashtags used on Twitter. It's a label that allows you to structure and filter content shared on Yammer. You can add a topic by adding the hash sign combined with the word you want to use within your post. You can also click on the three dots and click on Add Topics and manually add them. Manually adding topics is anonymous. Everyone can add, remove, and edit topics. Clicking on a topic brings you to a dedicated page showing all the content with that specific topic attached. You can follow this feed by clicking on Follow. Conversations with that topic will then show up in the following feed on the homepage and the feed on the Yammer app. You can add a topic to your comment or post on the Yammer app by typing the hash sign followed by the topic you want to use. The Yammer app doesn't include a page for topics, and it also doesn't allow you to search for them. Topics you follow should still reach you via the feed. Anyone with access to this Yammer network can create groups. You can create public or private groups with just a couple of clicks. Click on this link on the homepage to create a new group. The group will be made public by default, and public groups are accessible to anyone with access to this network. They can also join the group as members to get notifications when you or another admin of the group posts an announcement. You need to give the group a name first. Short names work best, as they can be shown fully in the group overview. Private groups are only accessible to members that have been added to the group by an admin. You have the option to list the group in the network's group directory and search results. This will result in people requesting access to join the group. To prevent getting these access requests, uncheck this option. You can change all of these settings later as well. Now click on Create Group. Your group has now been created. You can't create groups using the Yammer app. Click on the Group Settings button to reach other options. You can change the name here. You can also add a picture and change the color of the header. Yammer will automatically pick a color based on the picture, and you can use a specific color code here. The group description is used in search, so make sure to use it. You can add new members here, but there's an easier way to do that, which I'll show to you right after covering these settings. You can use a CSV file to upload a large list of members. We have already covered the setting for public and private groups. You can always change that here, but it's important to take into account that a group that was set up initially as a private group will contain conversations that the members expected to be private. This is why it's better not to open up groups after setting them up as private groups. Now click on All Conversations to visit the group page. Yammer will ask you to add other members, but you can ignore this for now as you are still setting up the group. This page shows you all the important information. The conversations are shown on the left. As an admin, you can create announcements. This info section is an important one. It's one of the first things people see and read. This field allows rich formatting. You can even add hyperlinks. This is your introduction to the group, so make sure to use it. Try to keep it short and consider mentioning the goal, the audience, adding links to related groups, and Yammer notes with more information. Now use the search field to find someone and add them to the group by clicking here. You can make them an admin by clicking on this button and clicking here. This option removes them from the group. You can't see the info section, the pinned links, or the files section on the Yammer app. Conversations which are connected to files and notes will provide a direct link, and you can use search to find files. On the left you can see a search box. Just typing something gives you results. At the bottom of the list there is a link to see all results. You can filter the search results in this view. You can search for conversations, users, groups, files, and notes. You can use advanced search by filtering based on a group and a specific time frame. The search feature can be found here in the Yammer app. Just tap the search button and start typing and press enter. The Yammer app will show you groups, people, files, and notes it has found on the network. You don't have the advanced search features in the Yammer app. It's important to update your Yammer profile. Just click on this icon to visit your profile page. This is similar to what others see when they visit your profile. Commenting on something on Yammer will result in a footprint, which allows others to easily access your profile by clicking on your profile picture or your name. You can edit your profile by clicking on Edit Profile. This is all the information you can add to your profile. The information in the info section can be retrieved by using the search feature. Adding a profile picture is done by clicking on Choose File and saving it by clicking on this button. You can reach the profile in the Yammer app by tapping this button. You have limited options to update your profile compared to the browser. You have the option to upload a new profile picture, change your first or last name, change your job title, add your phone numbers, and update the About Me section. The profile picture button here makes it easy to upload a picture taken with your phone. Yammer has a huge potential for organizations by facilitating conversations in a more modern way. There's definitely overlap with email, and the chat feature hasn't been integrated with Skype for Business yet. We have covered most of the communication in the Yammer project by using a private Yammer group, and Yammer will also be integrated in the new intranet. This will give you easy access to your following feed and the global groups which have active community management. To conclude this video, here are some tips for community management in Yammer. Update your group and use all the options that are available. Aim at an average of 2 announcements each week. Tag people to push conversations forward. Answer questions within hours or minutes and not within days. Follow up on feedback by updating them afterwards. Ask for input and feedback to improve the content. Make sure to have at least one other admin as a backup. Develop a content plan for an entire year. Make use of rich media, such as pictures and videos. Share links to content on the internet, such as articles. Experiment, evaluate, and share experiences with peers. Intervene when needed, or ask advice from your peers. We have reached the end of this video. Feel free to comment on this video if you have any questions. We're using the Office 365 Yammer group to share these tutorials. Don't forget to join the group if you like to get updates regarding Office 365.